The note arrived on $40 Crane stationery, hand-delivered by courier. I'm Wesley Hamilton, and my son Marcus just disinvited me from Christmas. Not with a phone call, not face-to-face, with imported paper and 3 paragraphs explaining why my blue-collar vibe didn't fit his curated luxury holiday experience. He needed the right aesthetic for his investors and influencers. Apparently, I wasn't it. My response? I didn't cry. Didn't I beg? I just texted back. I'll throw my own Christmas at my place. He had no idea what that meant, because Marcus didn't know I owned an $11 million estate 4 miles from his rented mansion. Why would he? I never mentioned it. If you're watching this, please subscribe and let me know where you're watching from. This story spans Westchester County boardrooms to Silicon Valley pitch decks. But before I tell you about December 23rd's collision of 2 Christmas parties, you need to understand how we got here. It started small, or maybe it didn't. Maybe I just told myself it was small because that's what you do when you love someone who's slowly rewriting history. September 2023, Marcus posted a photo at TechCrunch Disrupt. Big smile. VaultPay logo behind him. Caption: launched VaultPay with 0 outside investment, 100% bootstrapped, #self-made, #fintech. I was sitting in my office when Derek, my CTO, showed me. Wes, he said, did you see this? I had, and I knew the truth. August 15th, 2022. I wired Marcus $1.2 million, seed funding, from CipherShield's operating account to VaultPay LLC, Bank of America, transaction number ending in 3682, my signature authorizing, his signature receiving. Then January through August 2023, 8 more transfers, $50,000 here, $60,000 there. Operating costs, he said, payroll, marketing, server fees, $430,000 total. I texted him, proud of you, but let's be accurate about funding. His response came in under a minute. Dad, investors don't care about technicalities. It's about the narrative. Technicalities. That's what $1.6 million had become. I have a spreadsheet. Every dollar, every date, every bank confirmation. I keep it in a folder on my desktop labeled Marcus Support. Not because I wanted to use it, because I needed to remember I wasn't imagining things. Thanksgiving came. Claire's house, my ex-wife, Marcus's mother, 12 people around the table. Turkey, stuffing, the usual. Marcus told a story. Dad still thinks floppy disks are cutting edge, he said, laughter. I had to explain TikTok to him 3 times. More laughter. I stayed quiet. Took a sip of water. Here's what nobody knew. CipherShield protects 40% of Fortune 500 networks. We consulted for the Pentagon in 2021. I've forgotten more about cybersecurity than most founders will ever learn, but I didn't correct him. I let it go. Then came the toast. Marcus stood, raised his glass. To Dad, he said, who taught me how not to run a business? The table erupted. My sister Claudia looked at me. I shook my head. Not here, not now. Marcus wasn't done. But seriously, love you, Pops, even if you're still using a BlackBerry. I'm not. I have an iPhone 14, but that didn't matter. The story was better than the truth. I started counting after that. 6 public dismissals in 14 months. 6 times he made me the punchline. 6 times I chose peace over confrontation. Maybe he'd grow out of it, I thought. Maybe I was being too sensitive. Maybe this was just how 32-year-olds talked about their parents. But the Christmas note wasn't a joke. It was a declaration. Wesley, it read, I've thought carefully about the guest list for our holiday gathering. Given the professional nature of the event and the caliber of attendees, I think it's best if you sit this one out. Your blue-collar approach to life is charming in its own way, but it doesn't align with the brand experience I'm curating. I hope you understand. We'll catch up in the new year. Best, Marcus. Brand experience. Curating. Sit this one out. I read it 3 times. Then I folded it. Put it in my desk drawer. And I made a decision. I couldn't control Marcus, but I could control my boundaries. Let me be clear about the numbers, because in the end, this story is about what's countable and what isn't. Between 2021 and 2023, I gave Marcus $1,897,000. Not loaned, gave, no contracts, no equity, no repayment terms, $1.2 million for the seed round, $430,000 for operating costs, $195,000 when he needed a deposit on that Westchester mansion, the one he rents for $9,500 a month, but tells people he owns. $72,000 when he co-signed a Tesla Model S lease and couldn't make payments. I have the wire confirmations, the canceled checks, the text messages where he said, "Just this once, Dad," 6 different times. Marcus has paid back exactly $0. Meanwhile, my net worth, liquid assets plus real estate, is $22.2 million. Cipher Shield's valuation is $65 million. I'm comfortable. More than comfortable. But here's what nobody tells you about wealth. It doesn't protect you from being treated like an ATM. 2 weeks before the Christmas note, Marcus asked for another $500,000. Series A investment, he called it. "Dad, I've got momentum. I just need bridge capital." I asked to see his pitch deck, his cap table, his revenue projections. "You wouldn't understand the metrics," he said. "This is a different generation of business." That's when I knew. If I said yes, the pattern would never end. If I said no without setting a boundary, our relationship would explode anyway. Claire, my ex-wife, warned me months ago. We were having coffee. She said, "Wes, you're teaching him you're disposable." My sister Claudia was blunter. "He's embarrassed of you and you're letting him be." I told them both the same thing. If I push back, I lose him. But the truth was simpler. I'd already lost him. Or maybe I never had him the way I thought I did. Maybe I just had a debtor who resented me for keeping score. The psychological toll was the worst part. I started avoiding mirrors. I'd built a company worth $50 million, but my own son saw me as a punchline. I drafted emails I never sent, practiced confrontations in my car on the way home from work, imagined scenarios where he'd apologize, where he'd see me. None of them happened. The disinvite note, that $40 stationery, was the breaking point. It wasn't the words, it was the expense. He spent $40 on paper to tell me I wasn't good enough for his Christmas party. Derek found me in my office that afternoon. I was just staring at the note. "Wes," he said, "you have options you're not seeing." "Like what?" I asked. He leaned against the doorframe. "Like showing him who you actually are, not who he's decided you are." "How do I do that?" Derek smiled. "You've been hiding an $11 million estate for 5 years. Maybe it's time to stop hiding." That's when the plan started forming. Not revenge. I want to be clear about that. Boundaries. I called Marcus 2 days after the note arrived. He answered on the 3rd ring. "Dad, hey, listen, if this is about Christmas..." "Marcus, I got your note. Let's talk about this like adults." "Dad, there's nothing to talk about. It's my event, my rules." "You called me blue collar. I taught you better than that," he sighed. "It's not an insult, it's just accurate. You wear Costco jeans to networking events. I built a company in those jeans. You're living off that company." Here we go. The "I paid for everything" speech? My hands were shaking. I put the phone on speaker, sat down. "Marcus, I wired you $1.2 million in August 2022. That's not opinion, that's fact. You invested. Investors don't get to guilt trip founders. Investors get equity. You gave me 0 paperwork, 0 terms. Because you're my dad. I thought you wanted to help, not weaponize it." Weaponize. That's the word he chose. "Look," Marcus continued, "my friends, these are serious people. Venture partners, brand strategists. They don't need to hear about your floppy disk days. I was going to ask if your mother's invited, but I already know." Silence. "Marcus? Mom gets it. She's not coming either. She agrees you'd be uncomfortable. I'd already texted Claire that morning. She'd told me the truth. Marcus never invited her. He'd said the party was intimate." "That's interesting," I said, "because your mother and I talked this morning." "Well, she's busy. She said you never invited her. You told her the party was intimate. Dad, I don't have time for this. You have time to spend $40 on stationery to disinvite me. Jesus Christ, it's Christmas. Can you not make everything about money? You're right. Let's make it about respect. He laughed, actually laughed. What do you want, Dad? An apology? A gold star? I'm going to throw my own Christmas. Same day, same time. The laughter stopped. Where? Your condo? Dad, no offense, but my estate. $11 million estate, Westchester. What estate? You don't... Wait, you're bluffing. 15 Hawthorne Ridge Lane. Bought it in 2019. Never mentioned it. Long pause. Why the hell wouldn't you tell me you bought an estate? Because I didn't need to prove anything until now. You're seriously doing this? I'm inviting everyone you didn't, including your investors. Dad, that's sabotage. No, son, it's competition. You taught me that. I hung up. My hands were still shaking. I sat there for 20 minutes, staring at my phone, waiting for the callback. It didn't come. Instead, a text. 4 words. You'll regret this. I texted back. I already do. But not for the reason you think. Derek knocked on my office door 10 minutes later. Ready to make some calls? He asked. Yeah, I said. Let's build a guest list. He pulled out his laptop. How many investors are we talking? Everyone Marcus pitched in the last 6 months, everyone he's meeting with in January, and everyone he wishes would take him seriously. Derek grinned. So basically everyone on Sand Hill Road. Start with Greylock. Kate Morrison. Marcus pitched her November 3rd, Derek typed. She already RSVP'd. What? I sent feeler emails yesterday. And after you told me what you were planning. Kate replied in an hour, said she'd love to attend. Did she say why? She said, and I quote, I'd like to meet the man who actually built something before asking for money. I leaned back in my chair. For the first time in months, I smiled. Who else? Thomas Whitmore, Sequoia. Your original buyer. He's in. Judge Richard Brennan, your old friend from law school. He's in. Jennifer Caldwell from the Westchester Journal. She's very interested. The reporter? She's been investigating VaultPay's financials for 2 months. Someone tipped her off. She has questions? I looked at Derek. You tipped her. I may have sent an anonymous email with some public records attached. You're a troublemaker. You're welcome. Here's something Marcus never knew. In September 2019, I sold 30% of Cipher Shield to Sequoia Capital for $24 million. After taxes, $14 million liquid. Most people would have bought a yacht, a vacation home in Aspen, maybe a Lamborghini. I bought a house. 15 Hawthorne Ridge Lane, Westchester County, 8,400 square feet, 6 bedrooms, 7 bathrooms, pool, wine cellar, a baccarat chandelier in the foyer that cost more than most people's cars. Paid $10.8 million, cash, no mortgage. The deed is filed with the Westchester County Clerk. File number 2019-08522. Dated September 12th, 2019. Public record. Anyone could look it up. Marcus never did. Why didn't I tell him? Simple. My divorce from Claire finalized in 2015. Asset division was complete before I bought the estate. And Marcus was 26 in 2019. Still working on his first startup. Still figuring himself out. I didn't want him to see me as the bank of dad. I wanted him to build something on his own. So I kept my modest condo in Tarrytown, 2 bedrooms, 1,200 square feet. That's where Marcus visited. That's the life he thought I lived. The irony? His rented mansion, the one he posts about on Instagram with the geotag Hamilton Estate, is 4 miles from mine. $9,500 a month to the landlord, Greenfield Properties, LLC. I looked up the lease. He's been living 4 miles from my actual estate for 6 months. Never knew. Property taxes on my place run $93,200 a year. Zillow estimates current value at $11.2 million. Appreciates 7% since I bought it. I'm not telling you this to brag. I'm telling you because Marcus spent 2 years calling me out of touch. Stuck in the past. Blue collar. And I let him, because I thought humility meant silence. Derek changed my mind. Wes, he said, you know Marcus sent his Vault Pay pitch deck to 14 venture firms in October? How do you know? He CC'd me by accident. Probably meant to CC'd someone else. What'd the deck say? Derek pulled it up on his laptop. Page 3, funding history. Quote, VaultPay has been entirely bootstrapped by founder Marcus Hamilton with zero institutional investment to date. End quote. He's pitching VCs by lying about having no VCs. Worse, he's pitching your network. Kate Morrison at Greylock, you introduced them 2 years ago. Thomas Whitmore at Sequoia, he bought your company. These people know you. So what do we do? Derek smiled. We invite them to a party, your party, and we let them see the truth. Over the next 3 days, Derek drafted invitations. Cream cardstock, gold embossing, classy, not aggressive. Wesley Hamilton invites you to celebrate legacy, gratitude, and truth. December 23rd, 6 p.m., 15 Hawthorne Ridge Lane. We sent them to 60 people, 40 Cypher Shield employees, 18 clients, chief technology officers, chief information security officers, people who'd trusted me for years, and the investors, Kate Morrison, Thomas Whitmore, Samantha Ellis from Insight Partners. Marcus had a meeting scheduled with her maid December 28th. Judge Richard Brennan, my friend from law school, retired from the New York State Supreme Court, but his presence still carried weight. And Jennifer Caldwell, the reporter. Derek handed me the RSVP list after 5 days, 68 confirmed, including 22 people who'd been invited to Marcus's party. They chose mine. Derek, I said, if I do this, there's no going back. Marcus will know I've been holding cards. You haven't been holding cards, Wes. You've been holding boundaries. He mistook them for weakness. I looked at the list. Kate Morrison's name at the top. What if this destroys him? What if it saves him? I signed the catering contract. $28,000, prepaid, jazz quartet, $4,500, top shelf bar, $12,000. This wasn't revenge. This was clarity. December 18th, 5 days before Christmas. Marcus threw a pre-holiday mixer at his rented mansion. 35 guests, investors, influencers, local press. I wasn't invited, but Claire was. Out of politeness, Marcus told her. She went, because I asked her to. She recorded a voice memo afterward, sent it to me at 10 p.m. I listened to it in my car. Sitting in my garage, hands on the steering wheel, here's what she said. Wes, I don't know how you're going to listen to this, but you need to hear it. Marcus hired Trois Etoiles to cater. $38,000, past hors d'oeuvres, champagne tower, a rented Steinway in the foyer, even though Marcus doesn't play piano. He posted 12 Instagram stories. I watched them later. Slide 4. Grateful for everyone who believed in VaultPay from day one. No mention of me. Slide 8. Champagne tower. Caption. Self-made means no shortcuts. 100 emoji. Slide 11. Group photo. 30 people. Marcus in the center. Geotagged. Hamilton Estate. Not rented mansion. Estate. Like he owned it. But Claire's voice memo, that was the part that broke something in me. Marcus gave a toast around 8:40, she said. 30 people listening. He thanked me for being there, for teaching him resilience. Then he said, my dad, he taught me what not to do in business. Laughter. He's still using a BlackBerry, guys. A BlackBerry in 2023. Bigger laughs. But seriously, he's a good man. Just stuck in the past. I didn't want him here tonight because, frankly, he'd spend the whole party asking people if they've backed up their hard drives. Roaring laughter. So here's to moving forward, without the dead weight. Glasses clinked. Cheers. Claire's voice cracked on the recording. Wes, I wanted to throw my drink at him, but I stayed, because you asked me to. She paused. Kate Morrison didn't laugh. She checked her phone and left 20 minutes later. Dead weight. That's what I'd become in his story. I called Claire back. Thank you for telling me. What are you going to do? What I should have done months ago. The next morning, I didn't call Marcus, didn't post anything, didn't send an angry text. Instead, I confirmed 68 RSVPs for December 23rd, same day as Marcus's luxury Christmas. Same time. 6 p.m., I finalized the caterer, chef from Le Bernardin's Alumni Network. 28,000, already paid, jazz quartet. 4,500 booked bartenders, open bar, top shelf liquor. 12,000 in alcohol alone, and I ordered 120 custom invitations. Cream cardstock, gold embossed lettering. Wesley Hamilton invites you to celebrate legacy, gratitude, and truth. Then I did something Marcus wouldn't expect. I wrote him a note, by hand, on regular paper, not $40 stationery. Son, I heard about your toast. I'm sorry you feel that way. My door is always open, but so is my calendar. I'm hosting Christmas at my home this year. You're welcome to come. Dad, I sent it via the same courier service he'd used. Same day delivery. $40. Marcus texted me 3 hours later. Stop embarrassing yourself. I didn't respond. Instead, I called the photographer. Professional event photography, $1,200. I wanted documentation, not for social media, for the record. Derek came by my office that afternoon. You good? He asked. No, I said, but I'm doing it anyway. 5 days, he said. 5 days. Wes, Kate Morrison's bringing 2 other partners from Greylock. Thomas Whitmore's bringing his wife, Judge Brennan confirmed. Jennifer Caldwell from the Journal. She's bringing a photographer. A photographer? She's writing a story, she told me yesterday. Quote, I want to document what happens when the truth and the narrative collide. I looked out my office window, late afternoon, December light. Derek, what if I'm wrong? What if this just makes it worse? Worse than being called dead weight in front of his investors? Fair point. You know what Marcus doesn't understand? Derek said. You didn't get successful by being loud. You got successful by being right. And eventually, being right wins. I nodded. 5 days, I said. 5 days, Derek repeated. That night, I drove past Marcus's rented mansion. Lights on, cars in the driveway, another small gathering. I didn't stop, just kept driving. 4 miles later, I pulled into my driveway. 15 Hawthorne Ridge Lane. Home. The home he didn't know I had. I walked through the front door. 24-foot ceilings. Baccarat. Chandelier catching the moonlight. This wasn't about showing off. This was about showing up. December 23rd, 6 p.m. 2 Christmas parties, 4 miles apart. Same moment. Let me tell you what happened at both. Marcus's party came first, at least in his mind. 521 Riverside Avenue, his rented mansion, 80 people invited, 52 showed up. Valet parking, 2 attendants, ice sculpture in the foyer, a swan. Live violinist by the staircase. Marcus wore a Tom Ford tuxedo, $4,800. I know because I bought it for his 30th birthday. And a Rolex Daytona. $38,000. Christmas gift, 2021. Back when I still thought expensive watches meant love. Jennifer Caldwell, the reporter, arrived at 6:15. Walked straight to Marcus. Is it true your father funded VaultPay's entire seed round? She asked. Marcus's smile tightened. That's a simplification. We had multiple sources. Can you name them? Let's chat after the holidays. Tonight's about celebration. Jennifer made a note, left at 6:45. By 7 p.m., Marcus started noticing. Kate Morrison, not there. Thomas Whitmore, no-show. Samantha Ellis texted regrets that afternoon. 28 people who'd RSVP'd yes never came. Meanwhile, 4 miles north, 15 Hawthorne Ridge Lane, my estate. 120 invited. 103 showed up, including 22 people who'd skipped Marcus's party to come to mine. The house was ready, every light on, baccarat chandelier in the foyer. $200,000 when I bought it, probably worth more now. 18-foot Christmas tree in the great room. Real pine. White lights, no ornaments, simple. Steinway grand piano, owned, not rented, my grandfather's. Refurbished in 2012, fireplace going, catering stations in 3 rooms, past hors d'oeuvres, oysters, wagyu sliders, truffle arancini, open bar. Top shelf everything. I wore a navy Brooks Brothers suit, $800, and my Timex watch, $40. Bought it in 1998 when I started Cipher Shield in my garage. Still works, still keeps time. Symbolism matters. At 7:15, I stood in the great room. 100 people. The room went quiet. "Thank you for coming," I said. "Some of you know my son Marcus is hosting a party tonight, 4 miles south." A few uncomfortable laughs. I want to be clear. I love my son, but I also love truth. Tonight isn't about competition, it's about clarity. I gestured to a table in the corner. Elegant, not aggressive. 3 binders. "Feel free to look," I said. "I'm not hiding anything, not anymore." Binder 1. Financial support. 2021 to 2023. Tab A. Wire transfer confirmations. $1.2 million. August 15th, 2022. Cipher Shield to VaultPay LLC. Bank of America transaction number ending in 3682, tab B. Operating cost transfers. $430,000. 8 installments. January through August 2023. Each one documented. Dates, amounts, account numbers. Tab C. Tesla Model S lease. Co-signed December 2022. $72,000 obligation. Marcus's name. My signature guaranteeing payment. Tab D. Mansion deposit. $195,000. June 20th, 2023. Unsigned promissory note. Marcus never signed it. Never paid it back. Total. $1,897,000. Binder 2. VaultPay's public claims versus reality. Instagram screenshots. Printed. Dated. 100% bootstrapped. 0 outside investment. Self-made founder. Next to them, the wire transfers, the receipts, the bank statements, 0 revenue after 18 months, 2 employees, both unpaid interns who quit in February. Binder 3, property records, deed for 15, Hawthorne Ridge Lane, my estate, purchased September 12th, 2019, $10.8 million, Westchester County Clerk, file number 2019-08522, next page, lease agreement for 521 Riverside Avenue, Marcus's rental, $9,500 a month. Landlord, Greenfield Properties, LLC, side-by-side photos, where Marcus says he lives versus where he actually rents. People gathered around the table, reading, taking photos, whispering. Kate Morrison approached me at 8 p.m. Partner at Greylock Ventures, short gray hair, sharp eyes. "Wesley," she said, "I had coffee with Marcus last month. He pitched me a Series A, $5 million ask." "What'd he say about funding?" "He said he'd bootstrapped with angel investors. Plural. Never mentioned you." "Did he give you a cap table?" "He said it was in progress. Now I know why." She pulled out her phone, typed an email, showed me the subject line, VaultPay disclosure concerns. "I'm sending this to Marcus," she said. "We need to discuss this Monday." Judge Richard Brennan, my old friend from law school, examined the binders for 20 minutes, said nothing. Then he found me in the study. "Wesley, you could pursue fraud claims, securities fraud, wire fraud if he misrepresented to investors." "I don't want to destroy him, Richard. I want him to stop lying." "Sometimes the threat of consequences is the boundary." He handed me a business card. Forensic accountant. "If you change your mind." Jennifer Caldwell, the reporter, arrived at 7:45. She'd left Marcus's party early. She walked through my house, took notes, photographed the binders, with my permission. At 8:45, she tweeted, "At a Westchester holiday party where the host just displayed $1.9 million in financial records showing he funded his son's self-made startup. Son is hosting competing party 4 miles away. Developing story." 9:10. Guests here include VCs who were pitched by son's company without disclosure of father's 100% funding. Potential securities issue? She found me by the fireplace. "Mr. Hamilton, can I quote you?" "Yes." "You said earlier, I'm not trying to ruin him. I'm trying to save him from himself." "Is that accurate?" "Yes." And add this, I'll always be his father, but I won't be his ATM. She wrote it down. This is going to be a big story. I know. Then 9 p.m. happened. Samantha Ellis, Insight Partners, was still at Marcus's party. She got a text from a colleague at mine. Did you know Marcus's dad owns an $11 million estate and funded VaultPay 100%? She pulled Marcus aside. Why didn't you disclose your father's investment when we talked? Marcus stumbled. It wasn't. He's not an investor. He's family. It's different. No, Marcus. It's the same. And it's material. She left at 9:20. Marcus checked Twitter, saw Jennifer's tweets. He called me at 9:35. I was in my study. Derek and Claire were with me. I put him on speaker. What the fuck are you doing? I'm having a party. Same as you. You're sabotaging me. You're showing people private financial records. Nothing private about a wire transfer you claimed didn't exist. I never said. Instagram, September 8th, 2023, quote, launched VaultPay with zero outside investment. Your words, his voice cracked. You're ruining my life. No, son, I'm telling the truth. There's a difference. I'm coming over there. You're welcome anytime. Doors open. He hung up. Derek looked at me. You okay? No, but I'm doing it anyway. 10:15, headlights in the driveway, Porsche Taycan, leased, $1,400 a month, Marcus's car. He parked crooked, stormed out. Valet tried to stop him. I waved him through. 60 people still in the great room. Conversation stopped. Marcus, still in his Tom Ford tux, walked to the center. You all think you know the story? His voice shook. He's my father. He's supposed to help me. I stepped forward, calm. I did help you, Marcus. I gave you $1.9 million. What I didn't give you was permission to lie about it. You want me to what? Thank you publicly? Admit I'm not self-made? I want you to tell the truth, and I want you to pay me back, or sign an equity agreement. You're treating me like a business deal. You treated me like an ATM. What's the difference? Claire stepped forward. Marcus, stop. Your father's right. Marcus turned to her. You too? You're on his side? I'm on the truth side. You lied to me too. Said the party was small. It's 80 people. Marcus deflated. I wanted to be. I didn't want to be Wesley Hamilton's kid. Then be Marcus Hamilton, I said. But be honest about who helped you get there. The room was silent. I looked at him, my son, 32 years old, shaking. Here's what happens next. You have until January 15th to do 3 things. 1. Issue a public correction on social media. Acknowledge my investment. 2. Sign a convertible note for the $1.9 million. Standard terms, or give me equity. 3. Stop telling people I'm an embarrassment. If you do those things, we rebuild. If you don't, I send these binders to the SEC and every VC on your pitch list. You'd do that? To your own son? I'd do that for my son, because you need to learn consequences. Marcus didn't call me on Christmas Eve or Christmas Day. Radio silence. His Instagram, 1 post. Stock photo of a fireplace. Caption, Merry Christmas. Posted at 11 a.m., deleted by 3 p.m. VaultPay's account, nothing. First time in 90 days. Behind the scenes, I learned this later, Marcus hired a lawyer, Whitman and Rhodes LLP, $650 an hour. The lawyer told him the truth. My documentation was airtight. If Marcus had misrepresented funding sources to investors in pitch decks, he could face an SEC fraud investigation. Best option? Controlled disclosure. Get ahead of the story. December 26th, 8 a.m. Jennifer Caldwell's article dropped in the Westchester Journal. Headline, Local Tech Founders' Self-Made Claims Unravel at Dueling Christmas Parties. I was drinking coffee when Derek texted me the link. Here's what she wrote. Marcus Hamilton, 32, founder of mobile payment app VaultPay, has publicly claimed to have bootstrapped his company with zero outside investment. Documents reviewed by the Journal show his father, cybersecurity CEO Wesley Hamilton, 58, provided $1.897 million, in seed and operating funding between 2022 and 2023. At separate holiday gatherings December 23rd, the father displayed financial records. The son did not dispute their accuracy when confronted. Several venture capital firms who received pitch materials from the younger Hamilton confirmed they were not informed of the family funding arrangement. If true, it's a material omission, said one partner who requested anonymity. Wesley Hamilton told the Journal, "I'll always be his father, but I won't be his ATM." The article was shared 3,800 times on Twitter within 48 hours. Business Insider picked it up. TechCrunch ran a version. The comments section on the Journal's website exploded. "Good for the dad. Entitled brat. This is why I don't lend to family." 90% of comments sided with me. December 27th, Trois Etoiles. Catering filed a lawsuit. Small claims court, $38,000. Unpaid invoice from Marcus's December 18th mixer. Public record. Westchester County Clerk Case number 2023-SCGUI-9126. Marcus's defense. "I was told my assistant paid this." He doesn't have an assistant. January 4th, they settled. Marcus paid $33,000, negotiated down, plus $5,000 in the caterer's legal fees. Westchester Eats, a local food blog, covered it. Headline: FinTech founder stiffs caterer, blames non-existent assistant. January 12th, 11 a.m., 19 days after the Christmas showdown. Marcus posted on Instagram a photo, throwback. Marcus at age 10, me beside him, baseball game, Yankee Stadium, both of us smiling. Caption: "I owe everyone, especially my dad, an apology and a correction. VaultPay's seed funding came entirely from my father, Wesley Hamilton, who invested $1.2 million in 2022. I was wrong to characterize the company as bootstrapped or self-funded. I'm grateful for his support in working to make things right. Building a company is hard. Being honest shouldn't be." Marcus, 2,600 likes. Down from his usual 5,000. 319 comments. Mixed. 60% supportive of the honesty, 40% critical. Kate Morrison from Greylock commented, "Appreciate the transparency, Marcus. Let's reconnect in Q2 when you have a clear cap table." I read it 3 times. Then I called Claire. "Did you see?" I asked. "I did." "What do you think?" "I think it's a start." January 15th, deadline day, Marcus's lawyer called mine, Feldman and Company. My client is prepared to sign the convertible note. At 2 p.m. we met at Feldman's office, Midtown Manhattan, conference room, mahogany table. Marcus sat across from me, didn't make eye contact for the first 10 minutes. The note. Principal, $1,897,000. Interest, 5% annually. Below market. My concession. Conversion terms. If VaultPay raises a Series A at $8 million or higher valuation, the debt converts to 18% equity. Repayment schedule. If no Series A by December 2025, monthly payments begin. $12,600 a month for 15 years. Marcus signed. His hand shook. I signed. Notarized. As we left, Marcus stopped in the lobby. "Dad," I turned. "I'm sorry." "I know. I mean it. I know you do." We stood there, people walking past, Manhattan noise outside. "I don't expect you to forgive me right away," he said. "Good, because I won't." He nodded. "Fair." "But I'm not giving up on you, Marcus. That's not the same as forgiving you. Do you understand?" "I think so." "Boundaries aren't walls. They're foundations. I should have built them sooner." He looked at me. Really looked. Maybe for the first time in years. "I got the Stripe offer," he said. "Junior product manager. $95,000 a year." "You taking it?" "I think so. VaultPay's done. No funding, no team. I'm shutting it down. Selling the code to Stripe for $185. That's the right call. You think? I know. The investor fallout was predictable. Kate Morrison at Greylock put Marcus on a watch list. Will reconsider in 6 months if he shows revenue and integrity. Samantha Ellis at Insight Partners. Passed entirely. Emailed Marcus. Trust is hard to rebuild. Thomas Whitmore at Sequoia. Never considered vault pay. Told me privately, you did the right thing. Tough love is still love. Marcus's reputation took the hit. Short-term damage. Some people saw him as humbled. Others saw him as an exposed fraud. But here's what matters. He stopped lying. And in May 2024, he sold VaultPay's code to Stripe for $185,000. The money went directly to me, per the convertible note terms. His debt dropped to $1,712,000, and on June 15th, he made his first payment, $6,800, on time. Let me tell you what happened after the dust settled. January through March. VaultPay's slow collapse. User base, stagnant. 8,400 downloads. No growth since the scandal. Revenue, still zero. The app was free. Marcus never figured out monetization. Team. The 2 unpaid interns quit in February. Marcus was now a solo founder of a company with no users, no revenue, no team. By March, he'd burned through the last $40,000 in his operating account. April 12th. Marcus came to my office. First time in 11 months. Derek saw him in the lobby. Texted me, "Your son's here." I went down. Marcus stood by the window, hands in his pockets. "Hey, Dad." "Marcus, can we talk? In your office?" We went upstairs. He sat in the chair across from my desk. Same chair where we'd had a dozen arguments over the years. "I think I need to shut it down," he said. "Vault pay. Or sell it. I don't know." "What do you want to do? Not what you think you should? What do you want?" He was quiet for a long time. "I want to build something real, but I don't know if vault pay is it." "Then you have your answer." May 20th. The Acui hire. Marcus sold VaultPay's code and intellectual property to Stripe for $185,000. The deal included a 1-year contract, junior product manager, $95,000 a year salary. He called me before signing. "Dad, do you think this is the right move?" "Do you?" "I think so, but I wanted to ask." "Then yes, it's the right move." When I hung up, I sat in my office for 20 minutes. Didn't move, just stared at the wall. That phone call, asking for advice, not money, was the son I remembered. The $185,000 went directly to me, per the convertible note. His debt dropped to $1,712,000. His payment plan adjusted. $6,800 a month based on his new salary. First payment, June 15th. On time. His social media shifted. Posting frequency dropped. From daily to twice a week. February, what I learned from failure. 1,200 likes. Real engagement. People commenting with their own stories. March, photo at my office. Learning from the OG. 4,100 likes. April, privilege isn't just money, it's the safety net to fail. I'm working to earn mine. 2,800 likes. June, starting at Stripe as a PM1. No shortcuts this time. Thanks, Dad. 5,600 likes, highest since the scandal. Kate Morrison from Greylock commented, "Growth isn't linear. Keep going, Marcus." Meanwhile, my life changed too. February, I started therapy. Tuesdays at 4 p.m., Dr. Ellen Strauss, Upper West Side. First session, she asked, "Why are you here?" I enabled my son for years. I was afraid of losing him, but silence was losing him anyway, just differently. "What do you want now?" "I want to stop being afraid of boundaries." We worked on that for months. March, I started dating. Her name's Lisa, 54, college professor, American literature. We met at a bookstore in Tarrytown. She'd never heard of Cipher Shield, didn't care about tech. She asked what I did. I said, "I solve problems." She laughed. We've been seeing each other since. Quiet, healthy, no drama. April. Marcus asked me something. "Dad, my friend's starting a company, AI stuff. He wants me to invest. $25,000. Should I?" Old me would have said yes, would have written the check myself. New me said, "I love you, but I'm not your VC. Here's a list of angel groups. Apply properly." I sent him the list, expected an argument. Instead, he texted back, "Fair, thanks for the list." I showed Claire the text. We were having coffee, monthly check-in. That's the first time he didn't argue, I said. She smiled. Progress. Cipher Shield grew. First quarter of 2024, 8 new Fortune 500 clients, 14 million in annual recurring revenue added. Why? Clients told me directly. We saw the article. We respect how you handled it. Integrity matters in cybersecurity. My story became our marketing. Not intentionally, but it worked. Employee morale improved. Derek told me, the team respects you more now. You showed them you can be kind and still have a spine. Cabe, TechCrunch. Disrupt invited me to speak. San Francisco. Topic. When your cap table is your family tree, mixed in love and investment. I almost said no, but Derek convinced me. 1,200 people in the audience. I told the story. Start to finish. 15 minutes. Standing ovation. Afterward, 20 founders came up to me. Same story. Every one of them. My brother borrowed money. My sister's startup. My cousin won't pay me back. I gave them all the same advice. Document everything, set boundaries early. Love doesn't mean limitless giving. March. Forbes ran a profile. Headline, the cybersecurity CEO who went viral for setting boundaries. Quote, I didn't want to embarrass my son. I wanted to free him from his own lies. The article focused on boundaries in family businesses, used me as a case study. It's been cited in 3 business school curricula. Harvard, Wharton, Stanford. I never wanted to be famous for this, but if it helps one parent set a boundary with their kid, it's worth it. June, Father's Day. Marcus sent a card. Handwritten, not store-bought. Dad, I'm sorry for calling you deadweight. You were never that. You were the foundation I took for granted. I'm working on being someone you're proud of again. Love, Marcus. I read it 3 times. Then I called him. I cried on the phone. First time Marcus heard me cry since his mother and I divorced. Dad? I've always been proud of you, Marcus. I just wanted you to be proud of yourself, honestly. I'm trying. I know you are. Claire's been the bridge. She started hosting monthly dinners. March through June, Wesley, Claire, Marcus. Ground rules. No business talk. No rehashing December. By June, we were laughing. Old stories. Marcus's Little League days. My first failed startup in the 90s. The time Claire locked her keys in the car with the engine running. Normal family stuff. It's not perfect. We're not healed. But we're repairing. That's not the same as repaired. But it's something. July 2024. 1 year and 7 months after I wired Marcus that first million. Here's where we are now. Me, Wesley Hamilton, 58 years old. Cipher Shield's valuation hit 65 million, up from 50 million last year. We signed 6 new contracts in Q2 alone. I still live at 15 Hawthorne Ridge Lane. Still host events. Quarterly now. Networking for cybersecurity founders. Young people building companies the right way. No family drama, just business. My relationship with Marcus? Repairing. That's the best word. Not repaired. We're talking. Really talking. Once a week. Sometimes twice. He asks for advice. Not money. That's the difference. Lesson learned. Generosity without boundaries is just enabling. Love without honesty is just fear. I'm considering stepping back from the CEO role. 2 to 3 years, maybe sooner. I want to mentor young founders without funding them. I learned that lesson. Marcus, 32 years old. He's a product manager at Stripe. Got promoted to PM2 in June, merit-based. His manager told him, "You're doing the work." He moved out of the rented mansion. Lease ended in April. Now he rents a modest 2-bedroom in Brooklyn. $3,200 a month. Social media. Follower count dropped to 39,000, down from 52,000 at peak. But engagement's up. Real community, not clout. Debt repayment, on track. $6,800 a month. Never late. He told me last week, I don't know if I'll start another company, but if I do, I'll do it differently, honestly. Claire, 56. She's still Switzerland. Maintains relationships with both of us. Last month she told me, I'm proud of you for standing up. And I'm proud of Marcus for sitting down. Best summary I've heard. So, people ask me, was it worth it? Risking my relationship with my son over money? But it was never about money. It was about truth, respect, teaching him that actions have consequences, even when you're family, especially when you're family. I didn't throw that Christmas party to humiliate Marcus. I threw it to show him and myself that I wasn't dead weight, that my worth wasn't tied to his approval. And you know what? He's better for it. We're better for it. Boundaries aren't walls, they're foundations. Without them, everything collapses. If you're watching this and you've been the Wesley, the one who gives and gives and gets taken for granted, listen, you're not selfish for wanting acknowledgement. You're not cruel for demanding honesty. You're not the villain for saying enough. Your love is not measured by how much you tolerate. It's measured by how much you're willing to risk for the truth. And if you're watching this and you've been the Marcus, the one who took for granted, who rewrote history, who chose ego over truth, listen. It's not too late. Apologize. Pay back, literally or figuratively. Show up. Your parents aren't ATMs. Your investors aren't marks. Your reputation's built on truth, not spin. And if you've been lying to yourself, to others, the truth is going to come out. It always does. The only question is, will you control the narrative by telling it yourself? Or will someone else do it for you? I'm curious. Where do you stand? Have you been in a situation like mine, or like Marcus's? Drop a comment below. Tell me your story. And if this resonated with you, if you've ever felt invisible, taken for granted, or dismissed by someone you sacrificed for, please hit that subscribe button. Because I'm learning there are a lot of us out here, trying to figure out how to love our families without losing ourselves. Thanks for listening. Seriously, it means more than you know. Oh, and that Christmas party, the one at my $11 million mansion, I'm doing it again this year, December 23rd, 2024. And this time, Marcus is invited. No conditions, no binders, no press, just family. Honest family. Because that's what I wanted all along. I'll let you know if he shows up.